Good evening, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen. Y'all are
Catch you
listening
later.
to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly? I think we're just getting started.
Medic!
I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
Sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Overseas Connection podcast. I am your host this evening, Robin Tate. That's Bongo the Sane on just about everywhere on the internet. And this is episode 383 for August the 13th, 2016. Greg Delacy is away once again. We really do think he's getting treatment for gonorrhea, and he has to go away into a clinic once a week. So we've sort of had him followed, and he's been seen to go in and out of the clinic. We're not quite sure, but if he keeps on putting the cream on, maybe in a month or so he'll be back regularly every week. Anyway, thank you very much for coming along. Before we start, and before I introduce everybody, bit of sad news today, and for all us nerds out there and our Star Wars fans, Kenny Baker, the man who was inside the tin can of R2-D2, is sadly no longer with us at 81 years old. He has left this mortal coil and has went on to fulfill his mission in a galaxy far, far away. So, Kenny, thanks for bringing me up and setting my fantasies all around the world and all around the galaxy. Anyway, tonight we have a couple of likely lads and lassies. We have got Mark Wright in good old Blighty. Hello, Mark. How are you, sir?
Hello, Robin. I'm very well, thanks. I just hope Skype holds out tonight because you sound like a robot sometimes. Yeah,
Mark. Well, just on that point, if that is the case, you just give me the nod and I'll kick up my video off because. Yeah.
No.
Okay. So
no. Yeah, I'm all joking.
Yeah.
Mark Annick's on Xbox Live and PSN and on Twitter. And yes, sad news about R2-D2. I too grew up with him, and it's you can't believe a little guy's gone, can you?
Yeah, you used to look up to him, didn't you?
Yeah, I did until I got to about 7-8 years old, and I looked down again.
Yeah, well, you're an inch or two taller now, aren't you?
Yeah, just a bit, yeah.
And we also have Kim, Gamer Girl, here. Good evening, Kim.
How's everybody?
You're
Good, I hope.
You're nicely lit this evening.
Well, I try,
Yeah, I think you hide from the tyrant Greg because he was saying you were in the dark last week, but you've brightened up. Yeah, brightened up the day. How's the house coming on?
It is coming along. I now have a door in the new hermit cave, so we're coming along, and I have one wall, so we're getting there.
So tell us, Kim, when is it like ETA? I mean, when are we having that housewarming party?
I was hoping it was going to be by the end of this month, but then we ran short of funds. But we have more funds now, so I'm hoping.
Cool.
I'm hoping by the end of next month now. So.
Okay, so officially in and so, but you're living just beside it, isn't that right?
Yes.
Is that
yeah?
And what happens to the old pad then?
Well, originally he was going to keep it and renovate it and make a garage out of it, but he told me yesterday he's just decided to say the hell with it and he's going to tear it down. So I get a yard on top of a new house. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, see, there's a potential GC2 there as well. A girl cave, Just
right?
think of that, yeah.
Well, I have a hermit cave, so,
So, look, if people want to find where you are on the web or on gaming, where do they get you, Kim?
I am at GamerGirl27 on Twitter. I'm GamerGirl27 on Xbox. I'm pretty much GamerGirl27 anywhere you look. So.
Excellent. Okay, well, I've had a busy old week. Work-wise, it's been crazy. Just came back from holidays and straight into it again. And here we are, here podcasting again. And by the way, if you do want to listen in live, we do go out live, like now, at 11 o'clock UK. And that would be 3 p.m. in the west coast of somewhere called America. And 6 o'clock on the east coast of America. So if you want to tune in live, it's lovely. And you go to twitch.tv and you go to G4T. G4TE at the moment, and you'll get us there. So Mark, there's an interesting
Yes.
note here, and what is this?
It's
Please
a
explain.
yeah. I watched another movie this week, and it's won by M. Night Shyamalan or whatever his name.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, Shyamalan.
Ding dong.
The guy who did Signs and
Right, okay.
did he do the Bruce Willis one? That I See Dead People. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is called The Visit, and it's about a couple of kids who go see their grandparents. They don't see them.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time they've seen them. The mother ships them off while they're on their summer break, or no, it's not summer break because it's snowy. It's a school holidays anyway. And they go off to see these grandparents, and there's a really good twist to it. These grandparents are absolutely nutty, and it was really interesting. But I can't really say much about it because it'll spoil it. So I highly recommend it. It's good. It's got a lot of jump scares. It's got a couple of laugh bits. The little kid in it, there's a boy and a girl, and the lad is hilarious. He's a really good actor, and he really takes on that role, and he's really funny. So yeah, really, really recommend that.
Mm.
I'll have to look
Jerry.
into it.
Yeah, what did I watch this week? I caught up one night with Ant-Man. I'd never seen Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
That was really
That's
good. I
okay.
quite enjoyed
Yeah.
it. It's quite lightweight. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still quite enjoyable. I love the Thomas the Tank Engine bit at the end. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's cool, isn't it? Yeah.
And the other thing, I was flicking through the other night going, I'm not going to bed yet. Don't want a game. What'll I put on? And I was going through on Now TV there, that star system, that like 1 to 5. I thought, yeah, okay. 4.5 stars. I can't remember it being that good. And I put on Tango and Cash.
Oh yeah, I
Awesome.
remember that. That was late 80s, wasn't it? 1989.
Sylvester
Yeah.
Stallone. Yeah, it's not even widescreen. Sylvester Stallone and what do you call him?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt
Russell.
Yeah.
God, yeah. And Kurt Russell has this handgun with a laser,
Mhm.
but it's not. The laser attachment is about the same size as the gun. It's a big thing with the wires sticking out of it. But really, I don't know what people were seeing in it to give it the 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was a bit. And it was your man Palance, Jack Palance, the Western guy. He was the baddie in it.
Yep.
It was nice to go back to it, but I don't know what put it in my mind. I have been going through this Clint Eastwood revisiting all the old westerns, and I completely forgot about Heartbreak Ridge.
Yep.
And I've been watching Heartbreak Bridge over the last couple of nights, and it's still such a fantastic movie. I love Heartbreak Ridge. Just really good. This is the start of an AK-47.
There's a movie just come out on Blu-ray this week in the UK. I don't know when it came out in the US, but I've seen this recently, and it is superb. It's called Midnight Special. Have you heard of that?
Maybe.
It's about this
I think.
about this kid, this special gifted kid. It's superb. Again, you can't really talk about it because it'll completely ruin it. But yeah, if you get a chance to watch Midnight Special, I recommend that. It's a really good film. If you like sci-fi and stuff like that, yeah, great stuff.
When I was a young lad, I had a girl that I used to call Midnight Special.
Yeah, £2.50 an hour.
She wasn't great looking, but she was always free around midnight. Anyway, so yeah, at home here, I've been creating my second man cave. I don't know how lucky a guy I am.
Well,
to
I
have
was
a-
gonna say, I love a man cave one.
yeah, so it's how wonderful my wife is to let me do all this stuff. I am the luckiest guy on earth. And we've had the room created out in the garage. There's loads of space out there, so it's coming together quite well now. And I've been ordering the decorations. So this week we had a lovely big massive posters with frames came. I got one of The Cake is a Lie from Portal, and a beautiful shot of Rapture with just Rapture at the bottom. So they're not really in your face gaming. And then again, when you walk into the room now, I went to IKEA and got one of these big units, which are, I don't know, 7 foot tall with all these little compartments in them.
Yeah.
And I have an old retro console in pretty much all of them, and gaming memorabilia and all bits and pieces, and going to maybe get some LED in around there and stuff. But the other thing that I got this week, I was listening to those Boss Wave guys.
Yeah.
I do love my old retro games, and I heard Chris William's going on about his new Raspberry Pi and this thing called RetroPie.
Yeah.
So I took the plunge and went to Amazon and I ordered one of the new Raspberry Pis. Now I have a one, and the one was fine, but it was a bit underpowered. So I threw 30 quid or just over 30 quid down, and got my Raspberry Pi 3, and it's a weapon. I mean, it has now. Well, that one didn't, but it has built-in wireless and Bluetooth, which the other ones didn't have before.
Oh, right.
Some extra ports on it, and it's about 5 times more powerful as far as the processor is concerned.
Still the same size?
Still the same size. Size smaller than my phone, an iPhone S.
Yeah.
Packet of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a little plastic case for it, which was about a $5, and it has all the ports. Nice and neat, keeps it safe. Just powers by USB, and away it goes. But the thing that attracted me most this time around was this thing called RetroPie. RetroPie is a free operating system, and it has tons and tons of emulators built into it, and a really nice, easy to use shell or UI operating system.
Yeah.
So things like your NES and your SNES, Commodore 64, Amiga. I was even playing Quake 3 and Doom and Vanilla Quake. It's there. Even has MS-DOS running on it. And I was showing my son tonight Zork. And says, son, my 10-year-old, this is what gaming was like way back. Go north to the house, all this sort of stuff.
So how do you get RetroPie onto the Raspberry Pi then? Do you put it on a memory card or something?
Yeah, you put it on a memory card, plug it in, away it goes, and then so then you stick a USB stick into it after you've got RetroPie installed, and it puts all your folders for all of your various ROMs on that USB. Makes it really, really simple. And then you just grab ROMs wherever you get your ROMs from. I have no idea. Nicole's neighbor has ROMs, I think, and then you just drop them into the various folders, plug them into the Raspberry Pi. It copies them over, and that's it. It's simple. And you just stick your Xbox controller or a PS3 controller, stick it in, and away it goes. And just fabulous. And I mean, the main thing for me is I never had a SNES or an NES, so that missed me. The main thing for me is all the MAME. If you've ever heard of MAME, MAME is an arcade machine simulator, and it's been out for years and refined, but it's there. So I dragged over my almost 1,500 ROMs into this, and away I go. And so today, rattling through Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. and Tapper, just rattling, just brilliant. So that's there. I've now moved it out to the Man Cave 2, and I added a DTS sound system, 7 speakers surround, and a lovely big bass bin, and so out there's done. Still having a problem with networking. I can't wireless. I've got extenders and everything, and I think I'm going to have to take the plunge and get a cable buried in the ground.
I was going to say, can't you hardwire it with some cable?
My house is an island. Yeah. So it's concrete and tarmac the whole way around. So I'll have to get the jackhammer job, and I don't really want to put one up high, So that's what I've been up to. So between work and Man Cave 2 and fiddling about with the Raspberry Pis, it's been a good old week. Apart from house building, Kim, has that been you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what have you been playing to relax then after your house building stuff goes on?
Oh, the same old. I'm still working on the Descent DLC for Dragon Age, so I got a good couple hours into that the other day. So I'm slowly but surely making my.
How many hours have you put into it? How many hours have you
284.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've got your money's worth. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I definitely got my. I don't know, $60 or whatever I paid. I think I paid $80 for it because I got the season pass with it too. So yeah, I definitely got my money's worth out of the deal. So it's almost a 2-year-old game, and I'm still playing it. So
yeah, well, it's
have you finished? Have you finished the Jaws of Hakkon DLC?
Yeah.
Have you done that one? Is it
I've done that one. I'm doing the last two they put out, which was the Descent and then Trespasser. So
I bought Jaws of Hakkon, but I've not played it yet.
You need to.
Yeah.
I will warn you, it is harder than, for me, Hakkon was harder than even what was in the original game. So
yeah, I did try one of the levels, but I didn't complete the main game before I tried it, and you had to be a higher level, and it just kicked my ass. So, and then I finished the main game, and I've not gone back to it since.
I haven't at all. I haven't. I played it for about half an hour when it became available with EA Access, and I don't know, maybe. But the longer I leave it, it's very unlikely. Oh no, I am not going to play Dragon Age. There. Unless the world stops making games and I have to, or I decide to have a year of shame and just play all my backlog and not buy anything new.
I think I need more than a year.
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah.
Couple
So
years,
anything else?
maybe.
Anything else you've been playing, Kim?
Well, Gems of War, but we all know what everyone thinks about that one, so I'll just leave it.
I quite like
Where
that.
is that?
You get your pleasure where you finds it, you know?
There you go. It's good for, like, you know, you have 25 minutes before you have to actually go to sleep, or at least try to go to sleep, and you want to do something. You pop it in, play it for 20 minutes, and you can go to bed. No big deal. So.
And I mean, are you achievement hunting with it or anything?
Yeah,
or just...
no, not really. Just it's something to waste the time. You know, you don't want to dive into Dragon Age or Witcher 3 because you know that's going to take you hours. So, you know, it's a quick little game. You take 15, 20 minutes or whatever until you fall asleep like I normally do, and you play your little game, and that's it. So, if I pop an achievement, that's just that's a perk.
Bonus.
Yeah.
Bonus. Okay, and Mark, what about yourself?
A bit like Kim, really. I've only played one game all week. It's been a busy week for work, and my nephews came up Thursday night, so been spending a bit of time with them past couple of days. So they're up for a couple of weeks. But yeah, the main game I've been playing is Rainbow Six Siege. We got it. Me and Greg went halves on it in this sale a couple of weeks ago. £7.50 each.
Zang.
I'll tell you something. It's the best £7.50 I've ever spent on a game. Talk about value for money. Yeah. And I noticed there's something in the news later on about this game, I won't ruin that. But yeah, I am hooked on this game. I've played lots of it.
Should I get it?
Yeah.
Will I play it?
You liked Vegas too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Loved it.
Yeah.
And I played a bit of the Manhunt or whatever it was, or Terrorist Hunt.
Terrorist Hunt, yeah.
So at that sort of money, it would be hard to miss, I suppose.
Me and Nicole did quite a few rounds of Terrorist Hunt last night. It was a laugh. There was I don't know if anyone's seen Twitter today, but there was an incident where I was leading out the hostage, and we got right to the evac point, and I cleared the last enemy, but Nicole wasn't sure if there was another enemy hiding behind one of the police cars. So she threw a grenade.
An enemy.
Yeah, so she threw a grenade just to clear it, just in case. But as she threw the grenade, I run out, and she starts yelling, "Don't go out there, don't go out there." And I turn around and says, "What?" And it went boom, killed me and the hostage, and we failed the mission. And we just got to the evac point. So that was funny. I got yelled at quite a lot. Yeah, I got yelled at quite a lot.
No.
But yeah, I've played all the scenarios now. There's like a single player, I think they're called situations. They're basically tutorials on the different aspects and different characters you can play. I've got the last one to do. I've just run out of time to do that. But yeah, it's really cool. I've unlocked quite a few characters now. What you do is when you play missions, you get renown points. And with these renown points, it's like an in-game currency. You buy operators, and there's 8. You can get 8 attacking and 8 defending operators, if I remember rightly. And each one has its own unique ability. So the FBI guy is called Thermite, and he's got like a thermite breaching charge, which can penetrate metal walls, whereas the normal breaching charges can't. The other FBI SWAT is a lady, and she's called Ash, and she can shoot a rocket propelled grenade, which then embeds into the wall, burrows in, and then blows it and breaches the wall that way. The SAS guys have their own abilities. One's got a EMP grenade to disable the enemy traps and drones and everything. So yeah, it's really interesting.
So have you been teaching the True Skills guys how to play this then?
Well, there's an interesting story. On WhatsApp yesterday, I was still at work, and there was these messages going backwards and forwards saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to get on tonight. Yeah, we'll play," and all this lot. Gets on last night. Me and Nicole, and we sends out all the invites. Did any of them show up? Nah, they didn't. Apparently, Game Over UK was too busy playing with his poorly PC. Pedros was playing FIFA with his with your favourite person, McCarnage, who had that incident with Crashgate.
Him.
Yeah, so I think Nicole's given him a bit of shit on
Few
Twitter
weeks of therapy.
today. Yeah, Nicole's given him a bit of shit on Twitter today, but yeah, maybe tonight or tomorrow we'll get together again. But yeah, this game's
it's
got
lovely
legs.
how this little relationship with you all has bloomed, and you know
We do
'cause
get on really
I-
well with them. Yeah.
you are chatting away in that WhatsApp group, and I'm honestly I'm just crazy busy through the day to try and keep up with that and this and the other thing else. And every day there's like 500 WhatsApp messages going back and forth.
Yeah.
You must be talking about things that are really, really deep and sensible and deep conversation.
Yeah,
Or-
like flashlights.
or
and-
not.
Yeah.
We're having.
All right, so
guys.
Rainbow Six Siege
Yeah.
is a buy. All right, well we'll get to there is a bit about it that we're going to chat about a wee bit later, which I thought was quite interesting about it. For me, as busy as I have been fitting some stuff in. The Walking Dead. I went back. I had played Michonne episode 1 a while back, and I thought, well, I'd better go and finish it off. And I finished up the last 2 episodes this week of Michonne. They're not very long. They're about an hour and a half each long. I was quite surprised. I would have been happy enough to play just one long episode. It would have been absolutely fine. That girl's fucked up. She is. Yeah, she has issues. The gist of Michonne is she's a character. She's the one with the big katana, the big sword that's in the main Walking Dead TV program. And this is her sort of branched off, or either before she gets to the prison or afterwards. I'm not quite sure where it fits in. I think it is before she meets them. She's lost her kids somehow or another. And she hooks up with these other people, and it all goes to shit, as you would expect. It was interesting enough. It was all right. It was short and just, yeah. But I'm just glad to get it finished. But she was badass, and I tried to play her as badass. And when the decisions came up, I tried to play them with a badass attitude.
Yeah.
And I think it worked out bad.
Is there any crossover or link to the other 2 Walking Dead games?
There is a bit at the end, or close to the end, where they say, you'll have to go back to your group.
Yeah.
Or, so there was times when she disappeared from the Walking Dead for a while. So yeah. So I think but that's about it, really.
Right.
But nothing really else. Cool. Would you play it? If you're a Walking Dead fan, yeah. But I just wouldn't run it. It's more Walking Dead Telltale.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did play with Telltale this week, and I was in 2 minds with it because I heard some badish reports about Batman. But I played Batman. Now, I am going to just do a thing here. Just watching the chat here. I am going to drop my video. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, you are.
I hope it doesn't
Skyping
mess
a little
up
bit.
the OBS. Yeah, so I'm just going to drop the video, guys, to see if we can stop this a bit. Okay. Yeah, so I have played Batman, the first episode, which has now been released. And I'd heard people saying, oh, it's sort of patronizing, and it's a case of, people keep on going about, isn't Bruce Wayne, isn't it so sad that his parents have died? And kind of nerdy people, I've realized it was nerdy people that couldn't tolerate that in the world, because it was only mentioned maybe twice, once about with his butler and once at a speech somewhere in it. It wasn't that in your face. And you know what? This is really good. They've got the engine. It's the best looking Telltale game I have seen so far. It looks fabulous. The Has anybody played it yet?
Mm-mm.
Looked at it? No.
No.
The combat in it is fab. They've got it really worked really well. Yeah, of course it is like sort of quick timey events, but the way they've used the sort of telltale motions and and the swipes and there is no kapows or kaposh. It is a darker Batman. But the way they've done all that and some of his gadgets like drones with cameras in it that you can work out your plan of attack and who you're going to attack, and are you going to drop a block on a baddie's head or are you going to hit him over the head with a cupboard? So you work out your plans of attacks and stuff. It was really good. It is kind of dark. It's not for kids, but I played it through, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, 2 and a bit hours, and I immediately went and bought the season pass then. I'd only bought one episode because I didn't want to get burnt, but I bought the season pass now, so it's good. It's good. So if you like Batman, and if you like a bit of Telltale, that's the one for you. It does focus. You play Batman maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the 2-hour period for maybe 10-minute periods, 15 minutes at most in that time. It is more Bruce Wayne. It is more his relationships with the people around him. No spoilers because it's there, but Catwoman is there and she seems to be going to be playing quite a big role. I think it's good. Maybe I just don't know enough about the Batman lore.
Yeah, I heard an interview with the story writers. I can't remember who was doing the interview. It might have been your mate Larry on the Major Nelson's podcast. And they were saying that they were given free reign. It's not linked to the movie Batman Universe. It's not linked to the comic. It's like a mixture. They had like all this free reign to do whatever they wanted. So that's why it's got the backstory with how he became Batman with losing his parents and that. So
yeah, well, I mean that is a Batman story. They don't rub it in too much.
No,
there's some interesting things that they've tried to incorporate. So there is sort of a multiplayer. It's not multiplayer as such. You're playing with somebody else, but you can connect up to 4 other people, their mobile phones. There must be an app, and they can sort of watch as you play along and be part of the decisions. So when you get choices of speech, they can vote on which speech to take, which is a new twist on things. I don't know how popular that will be or not, but they're trying to add something else there, and they do have a video section now, and they must release a video with each episode, the 5 episodes, I assume, and it's like a making of video. So they've tried to up it a bit, but I'm impressed with how it looks. I've heard people saying there's a screen turn, the PlayStation version and the PC version run like a dog. Can't really say I noticed anything really bad, any pop in, any tear with the Xbox version. So yeah, so that's good. I would bongo recommend that. All right, last thing. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I did it. Yeah. I've started The Witcher.
Yeah.
I have 5 or 6 hours in.
It's good, isn't it?
It's got me.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I still really haven't a clue what's going on.
No.
I don't mean what's going on. I mean all of the menus. I think at all these big games, it takes a while just to learn all of the intricacies of it all. But I like Geralt. I like his not horny. Horny is the wrong word. his old friend, his old scarred-faced friend.
Vesemir?
Yeah. I mean, I like the basic magic stuff. I'm picking up everything everywhere, picking up flowers and doing all sorts of stuff, and I haven't a notion what to do with my flowers. I have made a couple of things.
Flowers or fruits?
Flowers. My horse is pretty cool. I don't know why he's called what he's called. Why would you ever call a horse that? Roach. Why would you call... I don't know.
It's just what he calls it.
And what do you call her? Yasmina? What's her name?
Yennefer.
Yennefer. Oh, yeah. Oh, Yennefer. And she mentioned something about a unicorn that she still had. So that's for the future. I do get it. I heard some people say that it felt like Red Dead a little bit, and I actually get that. It does feel a bit Red Dead with elves and orcs and swords and shit. So it doesn't feel like Skyrim at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I did have a glitch in it. The first big griffin that I had to kill.
Yeah.
You get it and you fight it in this field with your scarred little friend, and then you run up to a tower, a mill, and then you attack it
You're going down
again.
the heat, or coming out of the grabbing like that. If you don't get it beyond your soul. Potato!
Yes, indeed. Thick-skinned Robin. Well, in the field bit, it goes up and it starts to sort of fly around a little bit. And it just kept flying round and round and round and round, and it didn't move up to the tower. And so I stood there for maybe 15 minutes going, is there something I should be doing here? And I kept on trying to shoot it with my wee bow. And I thought, I'm missing. And I said, no, I reloaded the save, but got that. So, yeah, no, it's good. So I'm gonna keep on slogging away at it. And do you know what? I actually do think it is the sort of thing you can pick up and play for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
You can.
but
But the scary thing is that when you pick it up for 20 minutes, it turns into 3 hours.
yeah,
Exactly.
The
That's
missions, even the side missions, you think you get it, it'll be a quick mission, and then it'll branch off somewhere, and it'll elongate. And like you said before, you know it, you've got a 10-minute mission turning into a 3-hour mission with extra branches to do other things as well. So yeah, it's a well-made game. They've done a brilliant job of CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. And I know I heard that Pilch Reed has started it this week, but he's not feeling it, I hear. So hopefully that's coming. And I believe Mike Chin has started to play it as well. So that'll be nice to have maybe some people to chat along with. But yeah, well, I don't know why I left it so long, but then again I do, because we were so busy with other stuff. And you'll get enjoyment out of me enjoying it. You'll hear all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, look, that's what we've been up to, game-wise. Out there, if you have been up to stuff that we've been doing, or if you have any thoughts, please send us a tweet at OC_podcast, and we'd love to hear from you and what you have been up to as well. Right, a bit of news, and then we'll finish up the news with a wee bit of podcast trivia. Sorry, R2. I love that. That we knew we R2 in the background.
It's going to be with us all night, I think.
It's lovely, yes, for Kenny Baker. Yeah. Okay, so a wee bit of news. There's not a lot of big stuff this week unless I've missed something, but just a few bits and pieces and discussion points. And this first one sort of plays into that multiplayer thing I was talking about with Telltale. So Microsoft Xbox has snapped up a company called Beam. And what Beam is, it's interactive streaming. So where you're watching Twitch now and you can chat to people, well, now what this technology is you can influence their game as well. It can make it more interactive that way. So games like Telltale stuff they're talking about some sort of stuff with Minecraft as well and integrating it into there. So it's something that's going to come, more and more of this interactivity. And
did it,
sort of,
that Jackbox game did it recently, didn't they? Where you'd be playing the game on the console and you get a code for each game, and then someone on their mobile device connected to the internet could put that code in and join in.
I think it's very, very similar to that.
Yeah, that worked really well.
It's for streaming in real time. They were given an example of Sea of Thieves, where there are quite a few camera angles, so people can watch you and chat along with you, but they can choose their own camera angle and watch that part of the stream. So yeah, it's not a big thing, but just all of these things, these little increments of extra stuff that we're doing, we take for granted now that things are so good. So okay, the other thing which was tickled my fancy a little bit was Gamescom's coming up this week, or very, very soon, actually in the next week or so, and the title of this was smell what your butt is cooking in South Park, the fractured butthole, with the Oculus Rift. So this is not an Oculus Rift. I didn't say it like flowers. This is a nose or a nosulus or nosulus Rift. So what Ubisoft are going to be doing at Gamescom is they're going to have a thing. It's going to be like smell-o-vision. Yeah. So you'll put this mask on or this headset on to play the new demo of the fractured butthole. And every time somebody drops one in the game, they spray a little fart smell at your face. Because seemingly when somebody lets one off, it's strong enough to rip holes in the time continuum. I just finished South Park and I can't wait to play it again.
What we've done is they hired someone to eat 15 tins of baked beans the night before, and we've let it brew, and then he's just sat in the booth next to them, ready to let rip every time they do it.
Oh my goodness me.
That's why I'm going to imagine in my head anyway.
This item will not be for sale for the general public, thank goodness. So yeah, but that's a bit of fun from Gamescom. I'm sure that'll come up somewhere. I remember going to the cinema and they experimented with stuff like that. I know there was the old wind underneath your seat, and I don't mean a fart underneath your seat. They spread, if you're in I can't remember what the movie was. It was something about a rainforest, and they spread like water spray, and there was the smell of fresh cut grass, and they wafted it around the place, and they never really caught on. But sure, it's just a bit of fun. Okay, Rainbow Six is a bigger deal now than it was when launched 9 months ago. So what the developers are saying now, Ubisoft are saying that since it was launched in December 2015, it now has even more players than when it was first launched. So I think this plays into exactly what you were talking about, Mark.
Yeah.
I think this is a slow burn.
Yeah.
I think what they're also blaming it on, I suppose, with Ubisoft for the French company, was there was just so many people. There's a lot of people killed around the time in France. Around that, there was a lot of shootings, and maybe just there wasn't the appetite to be pushing this heavily and maybe marketing it as strongly.
And it also didn't get favourable reviews. And like Greg mentioned last week, there wasn't as much content when it first launched as there is now. So yeah,
did it come out? How close was it to not Watch Dogs? The Division. Was it close?
The Division came out. I think that was March, so there was quite a big gap between them.
It was a big gap.
Yeah,
I was just feeling that it was close to it, and the Division sort of wiped it out.
The Division was this year as well, so Rainbow Six came out before. It had a 4 months head start on it.
When did the Division come out?
March this year, wasn't it?
My God, really? Is that all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Seems like it was
So
longer.
Kim, would you think about Rainbow Six? I mean, would that?
I seriously considered it, especially when it's on sale. But my thing is, in October, I'm gonna have Battlefield 1 and Gears 4 coming out. So
military shooter at that sort of money. But what was it? 15 quid. I had 5, $20. It's good money. I haven't played a military shooter in quite a while, but again, Battlefield I'll definitely be getting. But I like the idea of some of the fun these guys are having with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it does recreate that magic then of Vegas 2, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that was my biggest fear because I spent so many hours on Vegas 2. I loved it to death. But yeah, it does live up to it. And there are obviously a lot of advancements since then, graphically and gameplay wise, with the AI. The AI are really clever. They'll flank you, they'll run away and then re-hide somewhere. Whereas the older game, the Vegas 2, you could pretty much sort of like go past a certain point you knew about, which would be a trigger point to spawn in the enemies. I haven't really seen that on this one. So, yeah, quite a lot of advancements.
Speaking of the smelly vision and stuff like that, there in our chat right now, I see the Gamesman, which I believe is Amorous, is in there right now. and he's saying that he remembers at Disney, the Bugs Life show, it would have had bugs running underneath your butt. So it was like that 5D thing. He also says that it was the Electric Blue 74 Orgy edition that when you were watching it, there was like feeling of stuff spraying over you. I don't know what the Golden Shower edition was it, maybe?
Yeah.
That's amorous. I don't know. I think you should be really watching those sorts of movies at your age.
He said he went to the special interactive version of Police Academy, the bit with a blue oyster bar, apparently. So that's what I've heard anyway. He's probably too young for that, actually.
Anyway.
He probably wasn't even born then, was he?
Yeah. Okay, so look, this last piece here, or almost last piece, is very interesting to me, and I read into this something a wee bit different. So the title, this came from Games 24/7, and the title of this is PS4 Neo could fundamentally change the No Man's Sky experience. So No Man's Sky could do some fancy pants stuff with the extra power of PS4 Neo, so the article goes. No Man's Sky is procedurally generated, which means Hello Games could really have some fun with more powerful hardware like the PS4 Neo. Speaking to the Daily Star, Hello Games founder Sean Murray said the PS4 Neo offers the chance to do more than just make No Man's Sky prettier. More powerful hardware just doesn't mean upgraded textures or a higher frame rate. It means we can fundamentally change the experience, he said. You'll see from our patch notes we're able to change huge things in the universe because we have complete control. With more powerful hardware, we can have more trees, more leaves in those trees. The density and immersion of worlds, or new types of worlds, could exist. I don't know, more vegetation is a fundamental change, but okay, maybe No Man's Sky could use more leaves, says the reporter. As an aside, it sounds like it could use that better frame rate. The PS4 looks set for September reveal, and Hello Games said it intends to keep supporting No Man's Sky, so a Neo build is not out of the question. And finally, if Hello Games does produce a PS4 Neo build of No Man's Sky, we don't expect to see it boast significant gameplay differences to the base version. All indications so far suggest Sony is determined not to divide the PS4 and PS4 Neo player bases too dramatically. Now, for me, that last paragraph screams the complete opposite of what Sean Murray is saying.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that we were frightened of that's coming in from a back door. Yeah. So if somebody said to you, Mark, and here's my read on this here is, if the PS4 Neo was a 30% better looking game than the standard PS4 version or the Xbox One version of No Man's Sky when it comes out against the Scorpio is 30% or 40% better. Even though it's the same, they've got us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They've got us. Even though they say there's going to be no real change, there'll be no real difference, but it's still one's going to look shite, one's going to look great.
It'll be the difference between playing on a mediocre laptop and playing on a mega expensive gaming rig, won't it? Yeah.
I mean, and it is going to, will it fragment that community? It'll be the haves and the have-nots, as well. And that's the start of that. That is the way that guy's talking there. I mean, where will he concentrate on? They'll concentrate on the good one and tone down the one that everybody plays. I suppose that's where the big money is, because that's where the 20 million consoles are. They're so. But that's it. That sort of conversation is exactly what said that people weren't going to happen. But there's the developers, and I know he's a small indie guy, so he's excited about that stuff. But that's the start of the beginning of the end of version 1 next gen.
While we're on the subject of No Man's Sky, Greg actually put this in one of our chat groups, but he's put up details about an interview with the Daily Star with Sean Murray from Hello Games, and he was asked whether the exclusive game would ever come to Xbox One and if it was a timed exclusive, to which he replied, actually allowed to say, hang on, let me read that again. He replied that he wasn't sure what he and Hello Games were actually allowed to say, and that it was must be very specific with his words. And then the Sony rep stepped in to move the interview along, explaining that at this time there was nothing more to add. So is that a possibility it could come to Xbox One?
Of course it is.
I
Of
hope
course
so.
it is. He's not media trained, so,
No.
as such. So he stumbled of his words, and I mean it's going to happen. But it might be 6 months down the line or so.
Yeah. It might
it'll
be like
come-
what Tomb Raider did happened on PS4. It might be a similar thing.
Yeah, when does Tomb Raider come out? Is that Christmas or before? Or
I think it's just come out on it. I
is
thought
it just come out?
I'm not sure.
I actually
I might be wrong.
think that exclusive deal was a bit long. You know, I think it really has lost the fizz. I don't know in the PS4
Yeah.
community what the fizz is for Tomb Raider right now, but it really did bury it.
Yeah.
Anyway, just last thing I want to mention, and this is sort of a community shout out. Midlifegamer.net, good friends of ours, and I attend along with some other members of the community their after show party at Eurogamer EGX every year. They also do a 24-hour gaming sessions, a bit different from the Extra Life stuff, but it's still a 24-hour sessions, and they call it Gamerama. So Gamerama 2016 started yesterday, and they are doing it like one person at a time. Generally, some of them will double up as it gets there, and they support a thing called Games Aid, and again, it's a charity for kids and people that need some help there, and they're with gaming in mind. And if you want to give them a wee bit of support, please go over to midlifegamer.net. They run a podcast. Matt and Darren, it's very, very funny. And right now, after the show, not before, but if you're listening live after the show, go over to midlifegamer.net and go to their Gamerama section. And right now, one of the community managers, Matt Spink, Egg Daddy, he started playing Fallout 4 about 12 hours ago, and he's another 12 hours to go. So you maybe drop into Egg Daddy, wish him a bit of good luck and support in the wee small hours, and maybe drop him a pound or two. So good luck, midlifegamer.net guys. You do a good job with Gamerama and raise lots of money for that. Just thought I'd give you a wee shout out.
Right, a bit of confirmation. Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS4 is out on October 11th this year, so it's not actually out yet. Yeah.
Right, okay. It'll be interesting to see what sort of marketing campaign they put around that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I suppose it's does A plus B equal C? I mean,
But I've heard the PS4 version will include all the DLC though.
Yeah,
That's
it sounds
That's what
like
I've
it'll
heard,
be a
yeah.
good deal. Yeah, it'll be a good deal. Yagamama. Maga Yam Yama Yamaga Maga.
Yeah, I've still got to do that. Yabba Mama Witch or something. I don't know.
I loved it. I must admit, I probably enjoyed the first one more.
Yeah.
But I think I had enough of the second one. Yeah. You're right. That was me. All right, that's it. That's the news done for us. I want to have some trivia now, thanks to Jason Johnson, Teflon 12. And he's done a question for me this week.
Right.
Just for my heart. Just fabulous. Thank you, Jason. I knew you were thinking of me at the time. And what's I've been speaking to the Tyrant, and I was saying to him
No tank tops this week.
that because I miss out getting points so much, every time that I host a show now, he's going to give me 2 points automatically, which is great. I think it's very, very generous of him, and I'm sure when he hears this, he might think about it and tell me no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. All right, you two,
Yes.
get your markers ready on the sheet there. Here we go. Question number 1: the best game ever in Aliens Colonial Marines.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
By the way, for Aliens
False.
Colonial Marines.
Is that true or false question? False.
In Man Cave 2, I've got some class Colonial Marines artwork up of one of the ships. So it's rather cool. It's like a Hayes catalog, Hayes diary of how to make the. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, I like
I-
Aliens Colonial Marines.
I used to have the workshop manual for the Starship Enterprise from Generations.
Anyway,
Yeah,
in
carry
Aliens
on.
Clone
Sorry.
Marines, the story is told through the eyes of which character?
Oh,
Corporal Winter, Amanda Ripley, Colonist Hutchins, or Captain Cruz?
I've got the game
Corporal.
somewhere.
No, that's not
I've
fair.
not played it. I've got it on PS3, but I've never played it. I think I bought
Yeah.
it for £1.50, and I
No.
apparently got ripped off for that as well.
Oh,
That's what I
cheeky
hear.
bugger. It's a good game. Anyway, so whose eyes is the story told through? Is it Corporal Winter, Amanda Ripley, Colonist Hutchins, or Captain Cruz?
Just right quick, just run through them again, please.
Winter, Ripley, Hutchins, Cruz.
Right, okay.
Okay. Answers 1, 2, 3, go.
Ooh, different.
Oh, different. Oh, there's another little line here. I missed that, Jason. Robin, just like to say you were so right about Aliens Colonial Marines. At first I thought it was crap, but really it is the best Aliens game ever made. There you go. Thanks, Jason. You're right.
Bullshit.
And the answer is, sorry guys, A, it was Corporal Winter. I don't know how you didn't know that. Goodness me.
Because we don't play shit games.
Okay, you'll know this next one. How many rounds does the MA5D assault rifle in Halo 5 hold in one clip? How many rounds does the MA5D assault rifle in Halo 5 hold
I know.
in one clip? 32, 52, 45, or 36 rounds?
No, I don't know this.
Can you go through them again, please?
32 rounds, the B-52 rounds, B-52s, at a old Chevy and a love shack. Sorry. A, 32 rounds, 52 rounds, 45 rounds, or 36 rounds. Your answers after 3. 1, 2, 3. And I would like to tell you that the B-52s is absolutely and utterly wrong. It was 36 rounds.
Oh, well,
There
hell.
you go.
I thought it was
So
more than that.
the scores tonight, let me just add them up on my calculator here. Kim got 0 and Mark got -1. Jason, thanks very much. Jason has also asked us to give a quick shout out, and we'll do that for you, Jason, to Richard Napster. No, it's Natras. Yeah, Richard Natras. He's going through a pretty tough time at the moment. And Richard, we love you, mate. You're our pint-sized buddy, and we hope that you're hanging tough in there. It's a tough family thing that you're going through right now, and big hugs from the community. Big hugs.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so new releases. Eeny, meeny. Oh, can't do that. Somebody almost got fired for that.
What?
Can't. Yeah, didn't that cause a whole row on a program? Somebody using that eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing. Can't say that anymore. That's non-PC anymore, seemingly.
What a podcast.
Really?
Fuck it. Do what you want.
Yeah. Anyway,
Too PC. It's just too damn PC, I'm telling you.
Kim, would
Yes.
you like to remove your burqa and read the new releases, please?
Sure. Alrighty, the new releases for August 13th through August 19th are Interstellar Logistics for the PC, August 15th, Adventure Capitalist for the PS4, August 16th. Then we have Bank Limit Advanced Battle Racing for the Rift, the Vive, PC, and August 16th. Then we have Bound, kinky, for the PS4, August 16th, Death Stare for the PC on the August 16th, Grow Up for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC on 16th. Isn't that the one about, was it growing plants or something?
Yeah, it's
Grow
a
Up?
sequel to Grow Home with a little
Yeah.
bud. Or
Ah.
it's
Right
might be,
here.
it might be a
It's a
subliminal
bud.
message for Robin to actually grow up.
Yeah, no.
Never.
I heard it was about growing cannabis in a house next door to Nicole.
Next door to Nicole, yeah.
Yeah.
Police
Yeah.
was knocking on there apparently.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Alrighty.
Mm.
And next we have Dave's X Go for the iOS and Android, August 18th.
Is that like
And-
Pokemon Go?
No, that must be like the Tomb Raider Go and Hitman
Yeah.
Go. So that
Mhm.
might be good.
Then we have Inversus for the PS4 and PC on the 16th. Oh, yeah, for the PC, Mac, and Linux, August 18th. F1 2016 for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC on the 19th. Metroid Prime Federation Force for the 3DS on the 19th. Stardust Galaxy Warriors Stellar Climax. No, I won't go there. For the PC, August 19th.
Say that again.
And last but not least, we have Style Savvy
Hey,
Fashion
Robin.
Forward with a
That was a
3DS.
stellar climax.
Right? I wonder if it's tied in with Bound, but anyway, we won't go there. And that is your new releases for the 13th through the 16th.
Well, looking through that
Or
list,
19th.
the only things that sort of pop out to me is what there's a Vive and a Rift game in there, which is interesting. I think that's the first time we've had that, really. F1 2016, our community guys, the guys over at Track, will be jumping all over that. Grow Up, Richard, again, he loved that to death. But I really don't see a lot. Is that Summer Lull now, isn't it, really?
I think so.
Yeah. Back
Yeah.
catalog time.
Yeah. Get them out to die. Yeah. If you haven't got your monthly freebie games at the moment, go get them. There's free games out there for both Xbox and PS4 and all other bits and pieces. Forza is ongoing. Just want a quick shout out to the Track guys and the community. Keep it together. It's been a tough week in the old chat forums, boys and girls. Let's hug. Let's group hug, and let's get over it and get on with it and love each other like we should. Yes, let's love each other. Love and be considerate, brothers. Yes. Anyway, love yous guys. There's racing in Forza. Goes on every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. This week should actually be a round of the big fancy cars. And that'll be a Monday evening, if I'm correct.
Is that a technical term then? A big fancy
The big
car?
fancy
Right,
big
okay.
prototype Le Mans style cars.
Yeah.
The championship has been going on once every month, first Monday of the month or second Monday of the month. That'll be this week. But British Touring Car Championship this Wednesday. So contact myself at Bongo the Seine or at the Henwood for details, and we'll get you hooked up for some racing.
Since I started these shifts at work, I started last September, so I've been on them nearly a year now. I do 2 p.m. while 10 p.m. now. Since I've done them, I can't make any of these races. It's so frustrating because I used to love playing with the Track guys on
They're
Forza and
good
F1.
fun. They are
Yeah.
good fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they're serious enough about it, but they're still fun.
Oh, they have a laugh,
It's,
don't they?
it's fair racing, it's yeah.
As-
So they
as
still have a
young
laugh,
kids
but
say-
they like
yeah,
a good.
As a young kid say, they have mad bants. So, mad bants.
Okay, look, Mark, I want you to do the Victory Achieved, but I just want to chat a little bit about Victory Achieved because there's some twats out there that should really know better. So, just over the last sort of month or two, it's been very clear that Victory Achieved was always to a certain Twitter address, and that Twitter address seems to be being ignored by members of the community, people that are going around, and there was some confusion going about where they should send their Victory Achieved tweet. And even members of our own podcast were sending them to a different Twitter address.
Well,
Anyway, from this day forth, all Victory Achieves will be sent to @OC_podcast. Seeing as you keep on wanting to send them to that address, I will give in. So
And see, if it's a podcast competition, it makes sense, really, doesn't
yeah,
it, Robin?
does. So yeah, it does make sense. So
They just got tired of
you-
spelling the dot.
yeah.
yeah. So if you can explain, Mark, what Victory Achieved is for people that don't know, and rattle through our winners this week, please.
Yeah, Victory Achieved is a quarterly competition we run, and what it entails is when you finish a game, you take a selfie of you, hopefully your face, not any other body parts, unless it's a nice sexy body part, then Robin would be very grateful. With the credits rolling in the background or the recent achievement of said game, what you finished. No games finished 3 years ago, please. It has to be done that month. And what you do is you then tweet that photograph along with the title of a game and the hashtag Victory Achieved to @OC_podcast. And then you will get entered into a draw. And every Victory Achieved you send, you get one name in the hat, which is then drawn at the end of this month, end of August. And you can win $20 of real money or £15. And you get that in the form of a gift card for PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, or Steam's.
Cool.
So the people who have Victory Achieved this week are Amros89 with Guacamole. We have Caliburn M, who's finished Dishonored Life of Dunwall, the DLC pack. Pilch Reed finished Wolfenstein The Old Blood, or as Fraser likes to call it, Wolfenstein! Caliburn M has finished Saints Row Get Out of Hell, and Bongo the Insane has finished The Walking Dead Michonne. And for all those people, they get this special sound, especially now Greg isn't here today. He's going to kill me, innit?
You all have a Victories Achieved. Victories Achieved. You have one. A Victories Achieved.
So yeah, get entering the Victories Achieved and get your name in that hat for the dosh at the end of the month. And there's another big reason to do that as well, isn't there, Robin?
Yeah, but when you hear his voice, does your hair not stand up in the back of your head?
No, my heart melts because I
do
love
you-
him so
I mean-
much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have. What is? Sorry, where's my card? Yes, we love Greg so much.
Yeah.
He is a nice man.
Yeah. Apparently, I've
Greg
been
is fair
diagnosed.
to us
Yeah.
and never makes us do things we don't want to do.
No, he
Yeah.
does not. I've been diagnosed with Stockholm syndrome, though, so I don't really count.
It is that Stockholm. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with us all.
Yeah,
We
we've been
can't stand
under
out against him.
we've been under his tyranny that long. We all adore him, and we're like his little minions, and he's whatever that guy's called. Yeah.
Please, here, Mark, would you make sure you cut this bit out, please, because I don't want him to hear this.
Right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, look, out of those victories achieved this week, Guacamole, that keeps on coming up. I never finished it. Did you finish it, Mark?
No, I've actually played this on both PS4 and Xbox One, and I still haven't finished it. But it's a cracking game, though. So
Yeah.
Try it.
Just Fraser was at it again there, and again Chris over in Bosswave and the hipster. They loved that. I
think
must
it's
go
been-
back to it.
yeah, I think it's been
just
free on
to be
both
one
systems,
of those-
hasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Caliburn M, just to bring up there as well. Saints Row, and his, on his tweet for that, he was saying that he doesn't understand why it got such poor reviews.
Yeah, Mike
I
Chick
just-
slated that game, but
Yeah, I played it for about an hour or so, and I loved the Saints Row. Okay, Saints Row 3 for me was the best.
yeah,
4
yeah,
was getting a bit tired.
yeah.
But Get Out of Hell just seemed like just a cheap cash in, and it just looked, I thought, awful.
yeah.
But maybe there was a bit of fun. I'm glad you found it. I mean, or had some fun with it, Caliburn. What is there? I think it is over 4 hours. So, I don't know. I suppose you get your fun where you find it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, as long as you complete your games, we always enter you into that competition, which runs every quarter. And this year we've been ticking along, and I'm raising a bit of money for Extra Life. So for every game that you finish, or every DLC or iOS, I allocate a point. So if it's over 4 hours long, you'll get a full point. And everything that was there this week was over 4 hours. So with every point, I give $1 for the Extra Life 24-hour gaming marathon, which goes to sick and terminal kids, make their stay in hospital a bit more pleasant. So this year, the competition's really holding up now, especially at the top of it. There's been 242 points. That means there's $242. I'd love that to get to 500. I know it's a lot in a month or two, but if you get out completing those games, or if you crowdsource some completions, I'd love to double that. Really would. And for the person that has the most completions at the end of the year, I'm going to get a nice T-shirt, an Overseas Connection T-shirt. It'll be new and fresh and class. I just know that. I feel it in my heart. And a T-shirt or a mug for the winner as well. So there's the top 5 every month. I'll put up the complete chart out of the 48 people. Caliburn is now still at the top on. Another one chucked up there on 30. He says he has at least 10 games that are just slightly over 4 hours. Just that he's going to be rattling away. He's on 30 points. He needs to do some catching up because I'm sure Caliburn is going to keep on going strong. Companion Cube sits on 14.5. Mr. Miyagi on 14 and John Mouse on 12.5. So thanks
for the listeners. Caliburn M got 35 points because you cut out a bit there, Robin, at the beginning. And you've cut out again now. Are you still there? Has he gone? So, yeah, so I'll just redo them because Robin had a few Skype problems. Caliburn M on 35 points. Amras 89 on 30 points. Companion Cube on 14.5 volts. That's
All right, guys. It looks like they've pissed off. I'm Richard, Big Bad Daddy, and I'm just streaming in the background. And it looks like I'm bringing them back in now. So let's take it away, boys. Nope, they've gone again. I don't know. Let's talk No Man's Sky. I played some No Man's Sky today, and I tell you what, for a game that's been hyped up to the absolute max, it's pretty decent. I say it's probably about 90% of what I was anticipating. A couple of things let it down, that there's no map for the planet or anything like that, so a little bit tricky, but other than that, it's fantastic. So yeah, the guys are just chatting. You can hear them. Hear them talking. They're chatting away. What are they saying? I think I got to try and bring everybody back in. Maybe I can call everybody. I don't know. Maybe I should try. But anyway, yeah, No Man's Sky. It's really good. Exploring loads of planets. The map is huge. Like the galaxy map, it's just scarily big. The planets are massive. Quick tip: if you've got loads of shit in your spaceship, gold and stuff, and it's a lot of value in your spaceship. If you leave a planet, pirates can come after you. So be careful. Let me call these guys. Let me bring these in. Maybe. Yeah. Phoning them now. Bring them back in. Okay,
hello.
So Dan, I think that's Dan. Dan's back. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, his internet dropped.
That's all right.
So we're just gonna finish it off for him.
Yeah, that's fine. I've just been shooting the shit about No Man's Sky to the stream. I think it's only, it's only Dan. Is it Dan or is it Amras? Who's there?
It's Amras who usually uses that. Dan usually uses his own.
All right, Amras. Yeah, the gold, right? Tell you what, the best resource I found, other than Radox, I think it's called. It's not Radox, but it's like Radox, is Emerald. It's basically emeralds, right? It's on some planets, it's only in small quantities, but on some other planets, it's massive. You get like massive like goose eggs the size of like houses of emerald, and it's like 220 units per one for each one you get. So yeah, look out for emerald. I found a planet that's just got emerald everywhere. Just emerald, but they had like psychotic little robots, so you have to be careful. But yeah,
I watched Stone Mountain 64 play this, or Stone Mountain 84. He was doing a live stream on No Man's Sky, and it looks really interesting. I'm quite tempted to get this.
It's pretty good. I say like the entire stream's just completely messed up for cameras. I don't know what's going on.
So, right. So we're gonna. Looks like Robin isn't gonna be joining us because his internet has completely died in Northern Ireland. So
His squirrels have crashed.
Yeah. Are we gonna close this off?
Can do, yeah. It's up to you.
Might as well, aren't we? Yeah. Have you finished your No Man's Sky chat? Or you can carry on with that if you want.
Yeah, I was just giving a quick tip about Emerald, a super rare resource.
Yeah.
Also, I think each star system, because I've only been to like, I think I've only been to 2 or 3. Each one's got like their own aliens. And I went to this one star, my second star system that I'm on, because I know everyone's is probably different, isn't it? My second star system had these like electronic robotic type people.
Right. So are the inhabitants of each planet procedurally generated then, like completely randomized?
I think they must be, because if I don't think everyone's finding the same aliens. Like the first aliens I found were these like bird aliens called the Gek.
Right.
But this other one, it like you get reputation with them, like you be friends with them, and like you learn more about their culture and their history, and your standing in their culture goes up, and it tells you when you're speaking to their people how they think of you. So you'll start off as like, you know, they know you, and then it'll be like friend of them, and then, you know, partner of them. Well, this alien race of like electronic super beings, my first standing with them when I first met them was test subject.
Right.
I was classed as a test subject to them, but now we're becoming mates.
Yeah.
So were you probed? No, I'm just...
Oh, God.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Nearly.
He was probed. Probed big time.
Definitely.
Yeah, I am really tempted with this game. My only worry is, will I get bored quickly? But yeah, there's a lot to do, but will it become tedious? That's the only worry I've got.
It will be if all you do is mine. I tell you what though, it's quite addictive, because like gold is quite valuable, but emerald's more valuable. So you'll get loads of rare resources in your ship, but then if you leave the planet with loads of rare resources or loads of value in your ship, you'll get scanned by enemy ships in space, and they'll attack you. And fighting in this game is shit. It just doesn't work. So, well, I'm shit at it anyway. So every time you get killed, you can go back and find like your corpse and get your stuff back, but you pay a penalty. So like every time you leave the planet with loads of resources, you've got to be careful, because as soon as they start scanning you, when they're nearby, you can't do the quick getaway speed. You can only do like normal fast speed, and they just kill you. So the tip is, if you're on a planet, there's always going to be like planetary trade stations on these planets. Go to there to sell your stuff rather than the space stations if you've got a lot of rare stuff.
Yeah.
Because then nothing attacks you on the planet for your resources. But the one that was probably the best thing I've found so far for quickness is on this planet of these electric people. They've got like these rocks that are basically like elemental stones. They're like electronic stones, and they're worth 20,000 units each. You just carry like 10 of them and take it back to the thing, and you get like $250,000.
Oh, he's back.
Holy moly, look at that.
We're just chatting No Man's Sky. We were going to wrap it up, but we got chatting No Man's Sky. So, can you hear us? It was better when he wasn't here.
I know, yeah.
So yeah, so it sounds cool. That, like I said, I've been watching a few streams of it, and I'm really tempted. So
yeah, it's all. If you're not completely sold on it, I'd suggest waiting until it's maybe about £30 or less.
Yeah.
Wait a bit, and then.
Oh, and there he's gone.
Yeah. So, as we were saying before, we had all these technical difficulties. The current leaderboard for Robin's Money to the Kids competition, where you can win a t-shirt and a mug, we've got Caliburn M on 35 points, Amras 89 on 30 points, Companion Cube on 14.5 points, Mr. Miyagi, 1984, very close behind on 14 points, and John Mouse on 12.5 points. So if you want to be part of the conversation, we broadcast weekly on Twitch TV/G4TE, or you can put in a short, well, it's not that short, live.g4t.com, and it'll take you straight to that Twitch page. We broadcast 11 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. on the West Coast, and 6 p.m. on the East Coast. Any other time zones, there is Google. You can email the show by sending it to podcast@ocpod.com. That is podcast@ocpod.com. That's a new email we started last week. I'm trying to keep everything related to the podcast so there's no confusion, like we had with our Twitter, which is OC_podcast. So send us a tweet at OC_podcast. There's a Facebook group we're all part of, which is fb.g4t.com. That seems to be quite active at the moment, so join in there on all the gaming talk. And we are on iTunes and Stitcher, as well as on YouTube. This video on Twitch will be sent to YouTube later on tonight, and we welcome any reviews and comments, so please give us a review and comment. And a quick pass the shout out round now, because there's only 2 of us left. So Kim, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. As usual, I want to thank our viewers, our listeners, and the people that come out to see us do this thing or listen to us, because you are the reason we do this. Otherwise, it'd just be all of us sitting there talking to ourselves, which would still be fun, but, we'd still just be talking to ourselves. So, thanks for showing up, making us feel like we matter. And other than that, I guess that's it. How about you, Mark?
I want to shout out Nat, Richard Natras, for the reasons Robin's mentioned earlier. I had a bit of a WhatsApp chat with him earlier in the week. I didn't realise what was going on in his life, and then I found out. So thoughts are with you, Nat. And I also want to shout out Richard Natras because I listened to his new podcast this week, The Entertain Nerds, and it was very good.
Awesome.
A bit of a down shout out, though, to his 2 co-hosts, Katie Stubbs and Kyle Adams. I can't believe they haven't watched Indiana Jones at all.
What?
And even worse, Kyle Adams not seen Star Wars apart from the new movie. Yeah,
oh dear Lord.
Exactly. And they're on an entertainment movie podcast. Shame on you guys. You need to get watching. Yeah. A lot of catching up for you guys to do.
Hey.
Hey, Robin, just in time for your shout-outs. I was just going to do yours for you, but do you want to do your shout-outs?
Yeah, sorry about that. Just the internet just completely dropped there. Well, shout-outs. I would like to shout out, of course, Mr. Baker, R2D2. We've mentioned him quite a bit throughout the show. So, I was quite sad about that. So, shout out to Greg, wherever you...
Greg broke it.
Yeah. Tank Top strikes again. The tyrant has killed the internet.
Way to go, Uncle Greggles.
Yeah, so I think Robin was going to shout out Greg for not being here and letting him take the reins and destroy the podcast again this week. It's also got written down here Chris Williams, which is Chris from the Boss Wave. I presume that's for the Raspberry Pi 3 recommendation with RetroPie, I'm guessing. And he's also got the GB Olympic team. I have no clue how many medals we've won. I know we've won some, so we're GB. How many have USA won, Kim? Do you know?
A few. I don't know how many I know, but I know we've won quite a few.
Rich, have you got any shout-outs since you've jumped in the last minute?
Yeah, I'll shout out my missus because she watched me play No Man's Sky all day.
Cool.
Because I've not been well, so I've been like...
She's a keeper.
She's helps me like spot animals, because when you're searching for animals, that if you is a tip for people just in case, because it took a while for me to work it out. I don't know if I'm just a dickhead or if everyone will have the problem, but when you use your left trigger scanner, when you use your visor to scan for animals, an animal that you know will have a white circle with a green circle with a white outline. An animal that you don't know will have a red circle with a white outline, but the circles are really small. So if you don't know it, it's red. If you do know it, it's green. The problem is, because they're so small, and I'm colourblind, I don't know which is which half the time. So she helps me. She points them out to me. She's like, that's a red one, babes. And I'm like, oh, cheers, fam. So it's,
You want to tweet Sean Murray and see if they can do a patch for colorblind options?
do you know what I might do? Because he might do it. 'Cause, I mean, Battlefield have it.
Might do, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Just going off on a tangent here on No Man's Sky again. So if you find a creature on a planet what no one else has discovered, do you get to name them? Can you name the species or?
Yeah, you do.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
And you get credit for that then. If someone else visits a planet, it'll say founded by or discovered by Richard Webster.
Yeah.
Is that excellent?
Planets,
Oh,
animals, star systems. If you find them first, it says discovered by you.
cool.
So I've got one of my star systems was discovered by someone else. Somehow
Right.
we discovered the same star system, but I was the one that discovered the planets first, or the two of the planets first before him.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe that's where he started, and he was on one world, and then he got off.
Yeah, because everyone spawns on a unique world, don't they?
Yeah.
Apparently.
So my world was somewhere. His world might have been that same star system, because you tend not to stay in your first one. You do your first planet. Once you can go, you get off because you do the story. So that's might be what he did. So he discovered the star system, but I discovered the two of the three planets. Well, yeah, you can name them. I've called one Bob, one Fred. I've called one. What the hell is this Asaurus? Because it was just the weirdest thing. A quick tip as well: birds. If you one of the things you scan animals for is because if you discover all of the species of animals on a planet, it ranges between like 6 and 9 or 10 or whatever, depending on the size. If you discover them all, you can upload that data, and then you get like 300,000 quid.
Cool.
Or 200,000 quid, depending on how many animals. So you want to try and find them all. Birds, they fly in erratic patterns in the sky, so they're really hard to like scan, because you've got to hold your scanner reticule over an animal for about 2 seconds, and then it analyzes them.
Yeah.
So for birds, the only thing you can do is just shoot them down with your mining tool. That's
And
it.
then scan them when they're dead.
And scan them when they're dead. It's like playing Red Dead again. That's what it feels like. With
Is
Red
it-
Dead,
is it
Red Dead without the snake oil dead eye.
Is it like a Monty Python sketch? This is a dead parrot. He is deceased.
Yeah.
So,
I love
I just want to give one big shout out to the Twitch viewers as well. We've not mentioned them with the technical problems we've had earlier. So we've had in the chat tonight, we've had Viva La Pedros, the Games of an RPG, which is Amros89, Scott Stubby, Martin One. We've also had, when I get this back up, who else have we had, Kim? Big Bad Daddy, which is Rich. That's it by the looks of it.
Looks like it, yes.
I thought it was more than that. Anyway, so that's a show for us this week. I feel a bit awkward closing the show because I'm not used to this hosting business, but thanks, Robin. So
You're doing a good
I think we'll just play the outro music now, and we'll see you guys next week on the same Bat Channel. See you later.
Bye.
Ta-da!
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.